Hey guys, Ms. Simpson here. I wanted to run through some problems with you guys on page 167, and this will help you with page 165. That is your next assignment. Okay, so we're going to talk about comparing decimals, and that basically means, greater than, less than, equal to, and you have done this before in fourth grade with whole numbers, but we're going to talk about how do we do that with decimals. Okay. So a couple important things for us to remember is equal to means that both numbers are the same. Both numbers have equal value, okay? Greater than means that that number, I have a fly in my classroom. I've been like fighting the fly the last couple videos. But anyhow, greater than means that the number is bigger. So remember, the alligator or the Pac-Man or, whatever you want to call this guy, okay? Just think about it this way. This Pac-Man, if you didn't see the Pac-Man, well, there it is. Pac-Man is always going to eat the bigger number. Eat the bigger number. Okay, that can be an alligator, that can be a baby shark, whatever you want it to be. But the guy that's eating is going to eat the bigger number. Okay, so let's check it out. First thing that you need to do, I'm looking at number 2, like I said earlier, on page 167. But first thing that I want you to do is you need both your fingers, and I want you to put your fingers on the first numbers that are in the same place value. Okay, same place to compare the two numbers. So in this case, these two numbers are both these numbers in the tenths. Yes, so I'm going to compare these two numbers. So 2 tenths compared to 2 tenths, or 2 ones, sorry, not in the tenths. What am I thinking? These are both in the ones place. So 2 ones compared to 2 ones, that's the same. So I'm going to move down a spot. A 5 in the tenths place and a 5 in the tenths place, that's the same. So I'm going to move down a spot. A 4 in the hundredths place, a 4 in the hundredths place, that's the same. So I'm going to move down a spot. 9 in the thousandths place and a 9 in the thousandths place, that's the same. So these are equal. Those are equal. Okay, now let's look at the next one. So, same deal. Put your finger on the first digit, and we're going to move from left to right. Okay, so a 3 in the ones, a 3 in the ones, that's the same. Move down a digit. A 2 in the tenths versus a 0 in the tenths. Which one is bigger? The 2 is bigger. So I'm going to stop there. I'm finished. I don't have to keep going down numbers. The 2, this was bigger than this, right? So the Pac-Man is going to eat the bigger number, okay? Another way to remember it, this is the different way, is the bigger number gets 2 dots. Oh, you can't really see my dots. Hold on. There we go. Bigger number gets 2 dots. The smaller number gets 1 dot. Okay, then you're going to connect the dots. That's just another way. Either the Pac-Man eats the bigger number, or big number gets 2 dots, the other one gets 1 dot, connect it. But don't make a triangle with it. Just connect it in a sideways V. Okay, so let's go down to the next one. Compare these two. They're the same. They're in the same place value, and they're the same. This gets tricky when, let's say, they put like a 1 right here. That's in the tens place. This is in the ones. This is in the ones. So I'm having to make sure I'm comparing the same values. They will try to trick you with that. I've seen them do that several times. So 8s are in the ones place. 2s in the tenths place. 5s are in the hundredths place. This guy has a 0 and this one doesn't. So this one does not have a number here. But if I need to, I can add a 0 on the end of any number that's after the decimal. And that does not change the value. These numbers are equal. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Both the 5s are in the 1's place. The 8 is in the 10ths. The 7's in the 10ths. These are different, so I get to stop here. So which one's bigger? The 8's bigger, so the Pac-Man is going to eat the 8. So, or you can use the rule of the bigger number gets 2 dots, the smaller number gets 1 dot, and then connect the dots. Okay? And the last one, 9s are in the same digit, 3s are in the same place, 5 and 6 is different. Pac-Man's going to eat the bigger number. These all ended up being greater than or equal. However, the greater than sign, this is the greater than sign. The less than sign points to the left. This is the less than sign. And if I made an arrow with it, it points to the left, okay? That's just a quick trick on that. Okay? Now, we're going to look at one problem that I'm actually going to pull from page 165 to help you with putting decimals in order, okay? Because this can get tricky. I'm going to look at number 17 on page 165. So I have 0 and 275 thousandths. Sorry, take me just a second to write this down. Uh-oh, I messed that up. Hold on. Mayday. There we go. Okay, so we need to put this in order. It says from greatest to least, biggest to smallest. Paying attention to those directions, incredibly important. Because they will switch it up on you. They'll say least to greatest, they'll say greatest to least, and it's hard to keep up. But I'm going to have 4 numbers, right? And I want to go from greatest to least. So I'm looking for the biggest numbers. So the first place that I'm going to compare, let me see if this marker works. Yeah, good deal. The lid was a little bit off. First number I'm going to look at is the 1s. It has a 0 in all the 1s place. Did that help me? Nope. So I need to move down a number. So I'm going to move down to the 10ths. Greatest to least. Which one of the following underlined numbers is the biggest? The 7. The 7. So I'm automatically going to put that number here. And I'm going to mark this number out. I see more errors on problems like this where people use a number twice or forget a number because they are it's hard to see all those numbers and make sense of all those numbers. But once you use something, mark it out, and then you're looking at, only what you have left. It becomes a little less confusing. So I still have a 2, a 2, and a 5. Which one's the biggest? The 5, right? So I'm going to put down that number, which is 572 thousandths. I'm going to mark it out. I'm done with it. It's gone. Okay? Now, these numbers, sorry, I erased part of this. Whoops. These numbers are the same. So I'm going to continue with these numbers. Okay? I'm going to move down a place. Well, that's easy on this one. This one's a 7, right? But there is nothing here. Well, if there's nothing there, then I can plug in a 0. You can always plug in zeros at the end to help you see, to help you figure out the rest of the problem. So you need to ask yourself which one's bigger, 7 or 0. and 7 is bigger, so I'm going to write that down. And then I'm going to mark it out, and then I'm going to write down my last one, which was 0.2. Remember, I added in this last 0, and then I am finished. You would do the same exact thing for least to greatest, except for instead of asking yourself which one's the biggest one, you would ask yourself which one's the smallest one if you're working from left to right. Okay, just make sure that you're using all of your numbers, and you're inserting zeros wherever you might need to in order to do that. Okay, I want to show you one more problem, because this method I think also some people can benefit from better than others. So that might work for you very well, but if that does not work for you well, then let's go over one more way to do it. We're going to write the numbers down, but we're going to line up our decimal points. Okay, notice how my decimals are stacking up. This is number 8 on 465. Okay. On number 8, 465, they are asking us to order from least to greatest. These are all my numbers. So I stacked them with the decimals lining up and all the digits lining up perfectly. Now I'm going to go through and I'm going to fill in some zeros. Now each of my numbers have 4 digits, right? So now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to have my, which they have a line for you. And just as long as you are writing down the 4 numbers, you're good. You do not have to write these blanks. I personally just like the blanks. So if I'm ordering from least to greatest, then let me set my book down. Then I'm going to look, are all these 4s in the same place? They have the same place value. Yes, they're listed in the ones place. So all of them have the same value. Let's go to the next place. These are all the tenths values. So we're going from least to greatest, right? Well, the zeros are equal. The 8 is the biggest. So if I know the 8 is the biggest, it needs to be down here. Since we're going from least to greatest, I might go ahead and put that down here. And then I'm going to mark it out because I've already used it. And I know the 3 will come next. So I'm going to write it right here. And we added in the last 2 zeros. So I'm going to mark that out. So now I'm down to process of elimination. I have these 2 left. So now I'm going to look, and the 4s are the same, the zeros are the same. Then I have an 8 and I have a 3. The 3 is smaller, right? So the 3 is going to go here, where the 8 went here. Okay, that's just another way to do it. I placed in the zeros just so the numbers would be all the same, have the same number of digits, because if we had to go further down, then that was already taken care of if we needed it. That's just another way. Just stack up the numbers to where they're exact, and that will help you. And mark out the numbers when you're done with them. That'll help reduce errors, okay? All right, guys, I hope that helps. Bye.